Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday. Welcome to Motherly Mindset Bytes. I'm your host, Miley DeFranlong, and this is Motherhood as I Know It. Today we have a special guest, Vera, and she is going to fill us in or share her journey through, hold on one second. One second. I just want to make sure we're live. We're good. Okay. So Vera, I'm going to bring Vera on. She's going to share her kind of journey through a pandemic time and what motherhood and really the evolution of who she was pre-pandemic to her new passion. And she's going to share what she has kind of evolved into her new entrepreneurship goals and what her vision for her future. So let me bring on Vera. And before that, if you guys are joining us live, hashtag live. If you're joining us on the replay, hashtag replay, and let us know where you are tuning in from. But welcome, Vera.
Hi, how are you doing? Happy, what is it? Is it
Monday?
Yeah.
Right?
That's what happens when you're in the pandemic. You forget what day it is.
Right. So tell the audience, we have a few viewers already tuning on. Awesome. But let's share a little bit about yourself. Who's Vera? What do they need to know about you?
I'm originally from the Bay Area. I have a full Filipino background, and pretty much born and raised in Silicon Valley, and have lived all over the Bay Area actually, and grew up working in various tech jobs. My first job was really doing data entry and word processing back in the day, because you could get paid $10 an hour and up. And back then that was a good amount of money. And I'm probably going to age myself, but this was when monitors were monochrome, Macs were black and white, and Windows was not color yet. But it's good to have been involved in that, history, in tech for a long time. And so I basically evolved from doing basic IT to becoming a system engineer or a support tech for sales environments, and then ultimately a technical account manager, and was living in the Bay Area for many years until I relocated to Southern California for the job, for work. And I've been here, oddly enough, it's going to be 18 years. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, so I'm currently in Ladera Ranch, California, Southern California.
Nice. Well, welcome, Vera. So if you don't know, myself and Vera, I met actually through a social media, I'm probably saying it wrong, SMBG group. And so that's where we actually connected. And we do have some Hawaiian roots as well that we share. But I think what really drew us to connect was that, number one, we're moms who are trying to navigate through just motherhood and, oh no, is that my feed? And through a pandemic time. So can you share a little bit about what happened for you, Vera?
Like I mentioned, I was really in a corporate environment for the most part of my career, and had moved over here to Southern California, and eventually got married with my husband, who also relocated from California. Bay Area. I'm getting it all wrong. And then we have our daughter now. But I got laid off towards the beginning of the pandemic, and really found myself on unemployment, and becoming a stay-at-home mom all of a sudden, and navigating and adjusting to having a child that was going to school online. And even though fortunately my husband was able to adjust with his job for remote, full 100% virtual office, I had to adjust to staying at home as well. And I forgot to mention that I did also get into doing insurance part-time, life and health insurance part-time, to see if I could make some extra money at that time. And with this pandemic, actually started to look for ways to be able to actually grow that and develop that possibly as a full-time role.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of not just moms, but in general, a lot of people had to get creative of figuring out, okay, I no longer have what I thought would be my forever career or job, and now be creative of, okay, what do I do next? Whether if it's life insurance or an MLM, business, or just to kind of redefine who they are, and make some sort of money. So, I mean, that is commendable to hear that you kind of, took a step back, did life insurance. And I mean, I've heard your wins, and phenomenal for you to transition. And I don't know if you've had any previous history with life insurance, but I mean, you had some awesome wins in the past couple months with life insurance.
Yeah, it hasn't been bad, but I think it was because of the program that you and I both met, or got to know each other, that really kind of clarified my current path now. I actually joined the social media business group program in late January because, as you know, I actually got into the insurance thing before the pandemic. I was trying to do it part-time. I was trying to see if I could hustle and make some extra money. And once the pandemic hit, it was like, wow, you can't really go see people in person. You can't really conduct business the way you've been conducting it before, where you could say, hey, let's go grab a coffee at the Starbucks, or let's go meet for lunch. So I really started to see this shift where everyone was online. And I was thinking to myself, how do I reach people now? Because it's like, unless you can door knock, I mean, cold calling is kind of archaic in my mind. And I kept feeling like social media would be the best way to do it. So of course, just like everyone else, I got a Facebook business page and was trying to really brainstorm, how do I create ads or draw traffic and all that stuff. But again, just like, I happened upon that program online and was really attracted to the fact that it was a program about how to leverage social media without any out-of-pocket costs, and also to leverage sort of what was already in front of you, which is a huge audience of people that go online every day anyway, and you can access if you just want to learn how to customize your message or adapt your messaging in that kind of forum. So I really appreciated the fact that I wasn't the only one who felt like this was a good program, and many of us joined it because of that awareness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so before we go on to kind of like your next step after life insurance, so can you kind of just share, where was, as far as motherhood, like how was that kind of how are you balancing everything from taking care of your daughter now virtually? You did get support from your husband, but now that you're going to do life insurance, and then you're branching out to what we're going to talk about next, but like, what were you feeling? What was your mindset like?
It was tough. I was really grappling with how to make this adjustment and just trying to understand what I could do to see if I could improve my chances and outcomes of pursuing the life insurance thing. So I was actually collaborating with a good friend of mine who partnered with me on the insurance, and we were trying to come up with ads and postings and things like that on social media and Facebook to see if we could draw business. And then at the same time, of course, juggling being able to support the fact that my, the daughter's home all the time, and my husband also really being busy, where he's on nonstop Zoom calls all day. It's just, trying to adjust to the fact that we're all home all at once. And now there's no real time to really separate, how you pursue or develop your business. It's just a different adjustment. It feels like all of a sudden you're with family 24/7. So it can bring its own challenges when we're so used to being able to drop off the kid or go to the office and kind of like mentally have that separation between all those different things. It took some time to adjust to it. It was definitely, I'm sure, like with everybody else, it was a challenge.
Right. All right. So I actually had the honor to talk to Vera one-on-one because she was part of my beta group. And then I don't know if you remember this, when you were talking about your life insurance, and then talking about what your new V Nexus, which is what we want to go into next, is I told you, your body language just shifted. Like she went from, you know, this straight, you know, analytical person like this, and then to what she really is passionate about. I was like, do you see that shift? And she's like, wow. Like, I'm glad you noticed that.
No, I mean, it was, I do appreciate the fact that you offered your beta program for the mindset shifting program that you offered, because I was able to participate in that and also kind of get a real direct and clear discernment about what I was feeling passionate about. I felt like when I was explaining my background, I was doing the insurance thing out of practicality because, hey, it makes money, or it seems like that would be the easier thing to sell, or what would sell better. But then part of your program was to identify the things that made you happy or brought you joy, or just made you feel like it was something that was more natural for you. And I think the tech side of me came out more and more. And as we were talking, like you said, you observed the difference in body language, or just the energy of seeing me sort of relax and become a lot more fluid when I was talking about the thing that I felt really natural at, you know, at doing, or being able to talk about.
Right. Awesome. All right. So if you guys are tuning in and you guys have a small business, or you're an entrepreneur, you're going to want to listen to what Vera has to share next. So Vera, give it to us. What your big pivot, your big, like, your next step. Talk to us about that. Like your mission statement now. Like what is going on now?
When we were in the program together, I think a couple of epiphanies or light bulbs went off. And so that was about the fact that I would find myself talking to, let's say, somebody I was seeing for acupuncture or some other type of service, and they'd start talking about their business. And I'd notice that I'd hear sort of this common thread of, I'm trying to do this website, I'm trying to figure out this thing. And so I'd start talking to them sort of casually, and then all of a sudden be like, hey, you know, I don't know, maybe this seems to be a trend that I can kind of, you know, follow and see if I can do something about. And then I think the critical point was being in the small business, the social media business program with you, because it's really made up of majority small business owners, was sort of seeing this sort of awareness of, hey, everybody else has these problems. And I think I actually have an ability to solve them or provide solutions for them really quickly. And so I kind of just, I guess, put two and two together in my head with that, and realized that it was something I felt really natural at doing, and wanted to now see if I could actually do something with it, do something useful and productive with it. And that's what really, you know, created that shift into thinking that I could freelance and do my own consulting. And that's where V Nexus was born. And I'm probably going to sound a little geeky here, but the V is my initial, of course, because I'm Vera, but V in physics is velocity. That's the symbol for velocity. And Nexus means connection. And ideally, what I try to communicate with that is I am speeding up the connection to a solution for your business that will optimize you faster, because then you're not spending and wasting time trying to figure out how to do things that someone can come up. Well, I can come up to you and say, hey, I'm looking at your business. I see what your needs are. You probably just need to do X, Y, Z, and really kind of just solve it right there. Because I find more often than not, people have technical needs, or the businesses have technical needs that were normally isolated to huge corporate environments, because of the pandemic, it shifted everything to everything being virtual, being online. And you're foolish to not think that there's a demographic you have to serve there. And so these services that were normally only really, like I said, isolated to the corporate environments, they now apply to small business too. And so small businesses have to adapt to that, or else they'll lose out, because more often than not, because of the pandemic, you know, having a storefront or a brick and mortar isn't as useful anymore. Even though we're all thinking about going back to normal, I'd say there's been a huge sort of psychological shift to doing business online now versus 5 to 10 years ago. So
yeah, definitely. I just want to shout out some people. Hey, Phyllis, welcome for joining us. Mark Carr, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Can't talk. But Vera's mission statement is to enable small business owners through IT and logistics. So if you guys want to hear Vera's hacks, she's going to share something like that she has graciously helped me with, and I think a lot of us out there are from. Well, she'll share, but she's helped me, and so hashtag Vera's hacks if you want some more of her awesome. Well, she doesn't. I don't know if she likes hacks. We kind of talked about that, but just. How about Vera?
Well, no, it's just because I think it's funny because a hack is usually, I mean, hacking is usually someone doing illegal to break into something on a computer system, but
it's
really
not illegal what she's doing.
Yeah. No, but now hacks has somewhat transformed in its meaning to be something you can do quicker than you thought you could previously do. Like traditionally, something might take a lot longer, but the hack is you found a faster and quicker way to achieve something. So I think that's kind of like the way we're explaining the hack versus, the way it's traditionally looked at or perceived. So
right. Wait, Phyllis gave us a better one. Hashtag Vera's solutions.
Whatever works, Phyllis.
Phyllis always generates some great taglines and information.
Like these really good taglines.
Right. All right. So without further ado, give it to us, Vera. Let share your solution to a problem that small businesses usually run into. Okay. Do you want me to share the screen now?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Take it away.
So I want to just point out that this is knowledge that is not available. I think it's just people are not aware is the thing. And so the reason why this became, I guess you could say, a solution that I became aware of was because I had a client that I was helping to design a mobile app, and he had a very archaic website. And when we started getting pricing for websites, the minimum price, the lowest price I could find was $500, and he really wasn't willing to invest that much at that time because we weren't even sure what we wanted to do with the website, et cetera. So we were already using Canva for graphics. And if you're already a Canva user, which is usually pretty common nowadays because people are used to designing with Canva because it's so easy. It's an online platform. I noticed that there was a web template available through it. So actually what I wanted to show here was that, it's a little delay reaction because we're online. If you type web here, you're going to get something that says website. When you click on that, and I just preloaded the page. Oops, wrong one. Sorry. Let me go back here. It's actually going to come up with all these templates. And you'll be like, Vera, what do you mean? These are all examples of different web templates. They're examples or frameworks for you to be able to design and edit them so that you can make them your own and customize them. So I just kind of clicked on one. It might take a little bit of time to load it, but it'll basically give you some sample pages already. And all of these pictures and all of these texts are modifiable so that you can change them and put in your own pictures and your own text. And it basically, in so many ways, provides a template for you to already design the website with. And you might say, well, what's the big deal? Because Wix and WordPress and all that do that. The cool thing about it is if you click on this Publish This Website button and you click Open Website, it'll actually show you as you're editing and building this website what it's going to look like hosted, which is actually really cool because most of the time people don't get that that ability to see it before it's even hosted. And secondly, usually they're working with a web designer, and the web designer is usually doing all the, I guess you could say, the custom work, and you're just kind of waiting to see the result. The reason why I think Canva is such a great solution is because what you see is what you get. Whatever you type, whatever you edit, you're going to see it exactly as it is on the screen. And I think that's really valuable simply because, again, you're not relying on someone else to design this for you. As far as look and feel, you can do whatever, put in whatever pictures you want, etc. I'm not going to do all that now and edit it here. But just really quickly to show what we did with Miley's website, she just went into Canva. And if you remember, Miley, I said to you, just pick a web template and start typing. How easy was it for you? I mean, can you explain or give some feedback on how you felt doing it this way?
I thought, I was like, geez, I should have, how many times I went on Canva and never even went to that tab. And it was pretty seamless. I mean, I think the hardest part was actually finding the words that I wanted to put on it. But like the pictures, I mean, everything was set up. So I just literally, like you said, well, it's not copy and replace. I think it's like replace or something. But I mean,
you got to edit it, right? You got to edit it the way you
it was
want.
easy to edit. It was, and then when we were on a Zoom, quickly to make the simple modifications, I was like, oh my gosh, I would have paid like ridiculous amount of money for something that I didn't really, or because I'm just starting off, so the things that I would need for a website is just to get myself out there versus, what we talked about before, adding things that I don't necessarily need quite yet.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, I think the important part to me was you were able to personalize it on your own. Mm-hmm. I didn't have really any input into your design. It was just more like, hey, look for a template you like, make any changes you want. I'll, eyeball it for any like corrections as far as, maybe centering or adding a little enhancement on some pictures or cleaning up some things, but it was all you. Mm-hmm. And so now the other neat thing about this is if we go back to Canva and edit this, all of the changes are going to be real time. You don't have to, again, wait for someone else to make these updates and changes for you. You get the full control of the site. Now, I am going to say that the drawbacks to the Canva website are that, number one, it's not really meant for doing like really complex, like e-commerce shopping links. You can link like a PayPal link. You can link Venmo or Calendly, real simple things like that. But if you're like trying to do shopping cart stuff, things of that nature, it's not really meant for that. That's when you're going to look like at a Shopify or any of the other solutions out there. And I'm not saying any, and I also want to correct that none of the other solutions are bad, but usually they are generally overkill for what somebody wants to do initially. And for me, it's like, once we got this up and running and you saw how quick it is, it was like one less thing for you to think of and worry about. Like, who am I going to hire? What do I pick? Because I think that's the biggest thing that I've also noticed is that there's so many, I didn't realize there's so many choices now for web design and web hosting that it's confusing for people. And if you don't understand the technical back end of it, you may buy something or pay for something and think, oh, this is what I need. And then come to find out later on, it's not even really doing what you thought it was going to do. So I really found this as a great, quick solution to share. Really quickly, I'll just go through how I helped another person in our group, Chrissy Aquino. She at first we were just doing a one-page landing page, which is usually just a single page with some graphics. But then when she saw your website, she said, well, I want to do that too. And so I said, go into Canva, go find a template, go to town and change all this stuff. And this is her website webpage that she edited. And if I'm not mistaken, this is that template, and it's just a furniture store. Okay, so she just changed the pictures and the wording to match what she wants for her business, and boom. And that's why I said to her, hey, how did you feel about that? She goes, wow, that was so quick. That was so easy. I didn't realize it was that easy. And then there was another friend of mine who's an intuitive coach. I just want to show that she used Canva as a template as well. We were able to add Calendly links, and within Calendly, she's got ability to charge for her services there. But again, if you've noticed, the theme here is it's pretty repetitive. Everybody's just looking for a way to create a site. Now, this one's a little bit more unique. This was my first client. He does what's called galactic art, and so we did have some customizations on this one because it's a little bit different from the standard websites that I showed you, but just kind of showing that these were all different styles, different businesses, different backgrounds, etc. But these are all Canva made sites, which I think is really cool because, did you have to really pay any extra money outside of whatever you were doing with Canva already? No, right? No. You just had to buy, you just need to register your domain. You need to buy your hosting. I can show people how to connect the Canva web template to the hosting. But if you would rather not bother with that, you can also hire me for that service as well.
Nice, very nice. We're gonna show yours as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I don't. So this is just a landing page. Like if somebody wanted to stick their resume up there and have like this professional link and stuff, but with me, I just basically showed a list of the things I do. If somebody wants to schedule a call with me, I've got a link to my Facebook page and my LinkedIn. And some information here, but yeah, that's just a landing page. I am planning to add more pages to it, but when I was sitting here talking about this and telling everybody about it, I was like, oh, I better make one myself, because then I look like a hypocrite if I don't make one. And it was funny because I was able to do it in like 15 minutes, because just get on Canva, create your page, buy the hosting, buy the domain name, and then boom, it's all done. And it was like, this was the fastest solution I ever found for creating any kind of web page. And of course, I'm probably faster than most people because I used to be a system administrator and I understand all this stuff. But before all of these great services where everybody's, able to pick and choose things graphically, you had to do everything by command line. And by command line meant you had to configure things with no pictures. So everything that's available now, it's supposed to make things easier, but I know it's still confusing for a lot of people because they're not familiar with all the different services and features and things like that.
Awesome. What I'm gonna remove your screen now. What domain did you end up using? Because I remember last time you talked, someone had the one that you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted vnexus.com. When I looked it up, it looked like someone had registered it in 2002. And the sad part is when you type it in, they're not even using it. So I did a variation. I just said vnexuspro.com because it still kind of sounded cool. And I just said, it's not too much of a big difference from vnexus.com. It probably sounds better to say it that way. And so that's what I ended up registering my domain name with, vnexuspro.com.
Nice. All right, we have a couple more reviews. Hey, Connie, welcome for joining us. Yeah, guys, Vera, I mean, as you saw on my professional website, it looks pretty darn good. And believe me, I gave her she walked me through the whole process. I took notes, and I'm not a techie person and messed it up. And Vera came and rescued me and had to call customer service because I don't even know what I did wrong. But if you're thinking about putting up a website up, or just need some guidance of, as far as logistics and where it's, hit Vera up, hashtag Vera Solutions or Vera's Hacks. In the comments, we also will drop Vera's link below so that you can reach out to her if you like. But if you guys loved what she shared, please smash some hearts. Let her know that, that concept is kind of mind-blowing. I don't know about you, but who knew Canva did that? And it was so easy to do. If I can do it, I screwed it up a little bit, but if I can do it.
The point is, that back button saves your butt more than you know. If you move something wrong, there's a little, back button there. But I think the important thing is that, you were able to use something that you already had there, and it didn't require you or cost you anything more. That was really kind of the key thing was, and also being able to allow you to design it the way you wanted to, and the way you wanted it to look, and make it your own.
Right. All right. If there's any questions, leave it in the comments as well. We have a couple more minutes before we wrap up. But any last tips you'd like to share with the audience, Vera?
I think the biggest the thought I will leave with is that it's sometimes we don't realize that we have knowledge that we can utilize, and leverage on our own. And again, being a tech person, I never thought I was going to be able to use this for freelance or monetize it in any way. But sometimes it pays to stop and think about, hey, is this useful to someone else? Is this knowledge going to empower someone or help someone solve a big business problem? So I think it's just that, and also having a good group of people around you. The SMBG program, shout out to Coach Jay. having everyone being supportive and being able to just get the reinforcement of what I was thinking through everybody else was key, because you can think you have a great idea, but doesn't mean that it's gonna fly. But it was great to be able to talk to all the different people and really discover how I could help them and with something like this. And so that was very fulfilling, and just a really good way to understand whether or not I had a viable idea or not. So it was, that surrounding yourself with the right people, supportive people. And also, like I said, you never know what it is that you may know as knowledge that you don't realize you can actually be using, to help other people with.
Right. Well, thank you. Phyllis gave us another hashtag line.
Hey.
Hashtag high velocity Vera. Love it.
It's like I a little bit of geeking out there. But
right.
Yeah, that works for me.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for our show. Thank you, Vera. We've learned a lot. Again, you guys, she will put her link in the comments, and hashtag Vera's Hacks, Vera's Solution. And she will give you insight of what is necessary or what you need, and steer you the right way. If she doesn't have the answer, I'm sure she will. She will let you know where you can find it. But
thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Good night, guys.
Bye. Thanks. Mahalo.
Mahalo.